Welcome, welcome, great souls. Wonderful to be here and sharing yoga with you. And before we do our breath work, I just wanted to give a general overview of the paradox, as you well know, the paradox of life, the difficulty with the human condition, light topic, but the freedom of yoga to get out of the delusion. So we know, basically we're working with what is changing all the time. What is changing all the time? Our physical bodies, there's limitations, there's abilities. Our thoughts are changing all the time. Our feelings are changing. Again, there's limitations with our thinking and abilities to psychologically feel those, breathe into those, and go higher. It is changeable. That's the good news. Versus, so we're this mixture, right, of what's changing and what is changeless in the yoga philosophy is the soul. The soul's already whole, already free. I say that every class, every day. And we're this mortal mixture of both. And so Yogananda says many things, but one of his quotes is, if you want to avoid misery, who doesn't, right? You must learn soul identification. We must learn to identify with the soul more and more. And that is a big purpose of meditation practices, and especially the hatha yoga that gets all the kinks and stuff that block. The soul's already here, it's already whole, it's already free. But we want to use our breath, we want to tune into our body, we want to go higher into the upper chakras and experience the more soul life identification versus physical limitation. So very much short view on something, a vast subject of the paradox of delusion. But we have our practice here to definitely help us in the journey of soul identification. So without any more talking about it, let's experience that. I'm going to back it up a bit. And we are going to do our pranayama, our breath practice. So many ways to do this. And we'll sit comfortably. Okay. Let's go ahead. This is, of course, this is the time of the autumn equinox as well. So there's, we want to have the proverbial balance as best as we can with our physical body, our energy body, and our emotional body. And what we're going to do first is place the palms down, and then inhale, bring the shoulders up by the ears, jet the upper body forward a bit. Tuck the chin to the hollow at the throat, draw the navel in, hold the breath. And then when you're ready, exhale through the mouth, lower the shoulders. So the equal part is we're going to inhale to 4 and set it up. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath with the bandhas, the chin lock, the root lock. 3, 4. And then exhale, shoulders ease, exhale through the mouth, 3, 4. Okay, do this 3 more times. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, draw the navel to the spine, chin lock, bandhas. 4. Exhale, letting go. 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale, shoulders up, engage the bandha, hold the breath to 4. And then when you're ready, exhale. If it's not 4, something that's relatively equal, the inhale, the hold, and the exhale. One more time. Inhale, shoulders up, upper body forward, engage the bandhas, hold, hold, hold. You're also focusing on the spiritual eye, not at the navel. Oh, that's tempting. And then exhale, release. Then turn the palms up, thumb, index finger together, individual self uniting with the infinite. Just breathe in and breathe out. Hear the sound of your breath right here, right now. And keep tuning in throughout the class on the mat to the sound of the breath, because everything we do on the mat ideally transfers off the mat. Just breathing, sensing and feeling, tuning in, and bringing the energy to the upper chakras, to the spiritual eye. The two become one, we go non-dual at that point. In fact, we'll set our intention. I'm hoping for the class soul identification, stronger than physical, mental, emotional fluctuations, the changing. We're tuning into the changeless. We'll tap into the heart, but you could set your intention for what speaks to you in our class, and perhaps setting an intention for this day. And then tapping into the spiritual eye with the thumbs, literally opening up that gateway, the crown, lengthening and growing up the central channel. And then reach the arms out and shoulders drop down, and just open and close the fingers and the thumbs. Get some energy, some circulation going. So squeeze and soak several times. Yay, body, as we tune into what it can do, opening up to the side, squeezing and soaking with the fingers, turning the palms to the center and twisting from the core to the left, lowering the hands down, one behind you, right hand, left knee, twist, chin parallel to the floor, exhaling, squeeze it out, ease back, about 3/4 of the way. And twist again, hear the sound of the breath, the texture of that squeezing action, and the release, some ease. Do this 3 times. Twist. And then coming back to center. Before we go the other side, sweep open the wings of joy, open to this autumn equinox, this time of year. This letting go is one of the principles of the fall. Hands above, and then exhale, space all around you as you bring the left hand over to the right knee, right arm behind you, like just close to the spine, twist. Twisting, and look at the eye gaze. Let the corners of the eyes, the pupils move to the corners of the eyes. And then ease back. Stretching the eyes is important too. Twisting and breathing. And easing back. One more time. Fluctuations in the body, softening, tuning in as we open the heart and take a moment again, thumb, index finger together, full yogic breath. When your inhalation arises, belly expands, heart opens, throat, spiritual eye crown, and the exhalation, the pause there. Do a couple rounds of the full yogic breath. Learning to identify with the soul more, whether you call that presence, awareness, whatever speaks to your language, or the heart. All right, let's get the legs involved as well. So draw those knees in, first just shaking them out a little bit. And making sure you have a blanket or some kind of padding here. Now we I classically teach the cat-cow, but if we want to add more core to it, which is a request today, we can always add to our typical poses and add with that focus. So I don't teach this a lot, actually. It's actually called the tiger pose, and it's a cat-cow, but the difference is your wrists are going to be a little bit in front of the shoulders. The left knee comes in line with the center of the body. And we're going to keep that right knee bent, and you'll see what I mean as we go along here. So as we exhale, we draw the right knee toward the forehead. It's not supposed to touch, not going to touch, and then most likely. And then we keep that right knee bent. Rather than a cat kick, we lift up and we pulse the sole of the foot several times toward the sky. Okay? Yes. All right. And then we get into the flow. We exhale. And we're going to keep that right knee bent. We're going to pulse. We're looking in front of the mat. Exhale. Through the mouth if you want. Now we can even add on. We can draw this knee in. Extend out. Pulse a few times. And then what we're adding on is a push-up. So we bend the elbows by our side. And then we lift up. And we pulse one more time. Folding in. Look for stronger engagement here with that knee bent. 3 times. Add the push-up. And then we'll get the extension release of the hamstring. Curl those right toes under, press back into the right heel, and just go back and forth several times, elongating. And before we go the other side, we'll do our wonderful full body stretch down dog. So if you want to walk your hands back a little bit, feel free. And we're going to lift the tailbone up. Maybe first down dog of the day, maybe not. Either way, luxuriate into it. Whoa, feel the strength, the freedom, the flexibility. And spread those toes wide, press into the base of the fingers, magnetize the heart toward the thighs. And with that soul identification, that calmness is the aspect of the divine, and peace radiate through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. And you can stabilize the arms and legs and circle the head a bit. Now, when you're ready, we come back. We've done the, take your time here to come back down onto the knees. Upper body juts forward a bit. And we're going to shift it to the other side. Okay. All right. And we're going to bring the right knee in the center line. We're going to draw the left knee toward the forehead. Oh yeah, walk the hands a little bit forward. And keep that knee bent. If possible, flex through the foot and pulse. Deep exhales. And then fold in. Rounded spine, shoulders to the sky. And keep that knee bent. And pulse. Try not to get the knee way low. Keep in line with the hip. And before we add our push-up, we'll do one more. So you can add this to your home practice of cat-cow, much more dynamic. And then here we go with the push-up, elbows in. Take your time. Fold and round. Deep exhale as we pulse up. And one more time with the push up. Okay, turn the toes under and then let's stretch through the left hamstring. Back and forth, elongation. Feel the energy in your form. Okay, walk the hands back a bit. Here we go. A wonderful full body stretch. Spread it out. If you want to ripple quite a bit, you can bend the knees and ripple back, wave like. You want to have more core strength, you ripple into a half chaturanga, push up, and then come back. You always get on there. Turning hands, peace, or calmness, whatever divine quality you'd like to invoke. Radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Small circles with the head. 2 times in one direction, 3 times in its opposite. Now let's go ahead and step 1 foot forward, then the other, and then one hand toward the feet, and then keep walking back in our forward fold, bending the knees. If it's a pressure buildup because we're like that, and you want to either rest your hands at the inner elbows or underneath the soles of the feet, feel free to do what feels good to you as we relax those unnecessary mental burdens. Letting go of what we, overthinking, overplanning. The brain does the planning, etc. But right now, just tune in to what's animating it all, the source of it all, the source before everything arises, that soul identification. Where is it all coming from? Let's change the source again. Okay, when we come up, let's come up stronger because we're asking for core. Bend the knees into chair. Uttasana, heart lifts. Deep breath. Sweeping up. Let's pulse a few times. Exhale, let's jump out that duality. We live in duality, but the focus today is to not overthink. Remembering the soul's true nature is freedom. Pulse it. Whatever you want to chop out. Symbolically. And feel it in the legs, in the core, rising up, reaching up, lengthen and grow. And then feel the space all around you. I'm going to move my mat or blanket out to the side now. So we're talking about the autumn equinox, this special, wonderful time of year. Changing, fall, letting go. Let's see, as we root down, yield into the earth. And again, come up through that central channel, belly, fully over breath, standing heart, spiritual eye, crown. Let's bring our hands to the crown. And think of others you would like to send healing energy. I know I usually do this from the heart if it feels more natural for you to go to the heart. But we're going to go the heart, the throat. These are all the higher chakras, either way. We're awakening the consciousness within ourselves, but we're also invoking that dawning of higher consciousness for others. So we're not alone on the mat. So bring to others, you would like to invoke that higher consciousness as we stretch and grow. Okay. We'll add a back bend that feels right to you at this time. Exhale. Try to get out of the lumbar, lift up through the heart. And lengthen and grow and feel the space all around you. Hinging at the hips in our forward fold. Doing a variation of Surya Namaskar, Sun Solar. We want to tune into the solar energy of the cycles of nature around us, attunement. See if we can bring the inner borders of the feet together if possible. So to add to core strength, if possible, lifting the right leg, if that's in your practice. Bending the knee, turning the hip out to the side, rotating the ankle. This isn't in your practice, stay with the two-legged down dog. Now, to add more core, when we come back, we come into plank and bring your right knee toward your right elbow. I move my hands a little bit forward. So we take a moment here, knee to elbow, strength. Take it back, possibly right knee to left elbow, or regular plank if it doesn't work to lift both feet. Stay in the plank, add a push-up perhaps, and then we're all going to meet by bending the right knee and bringing the knee to the chest and stepping it through both hands. And I'm going to bring my block over. And we're going to first going to just do that thing I love to do is hydrate the hips. So we swirl, sweep side to side, get some ease in the movement. So strength and ease, strength and flexibility. Now, with the block, you come back and you don't have to have the block, but I find it's helpful. You could be on the knee or off the knee, whatever works for you. Again, a twist. Left abdomen toward the right. Twist the torso and then open up that arm. Twisting lunge. So it could be here as we're opening up or off the knee. 3 breaths. Give us a benefit, 3 to 5 breaths in each pose. Twisting in our lunge, coming back to tap down, have your block by your side, Hanumanasana, half Hanumanasana split, draw that right hip back and down, left hip forward, opposite, left hand toward the toes, feeling down. Now into the wisdom of the heart. There could be another language for you for soul identification. What's animating the heart? What's animating all forms? Different inquiries to truly who am I? Okay, and then from here, we're going to bend that front knee, move back to this direction. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to turn the left toe under and step it back to regular plank. Before we go to the other side, we're going to come into plank. And let's bring one forearm down, then the other. Don't collapse and belly your head. Full body strengthening and core strengthening. The longer the better. And then when it's time, we come on top of the knees. We just unfurl into our beginning Sphinx here. Rocking side to side. Looking over one shoulder and then the other. Beautiful. And then let's take a rest, stacking one hand on the top of the other, and just literally resting at the spiritual eye, and physically, literally resting at the spiritual eye. Soften the shoulders. So it's emptying out, emptying out, emptying out, resting. All that stuff will be there after class, but we'll deal with it ideally from this spacious awareness. Now we're going to rise up into Cobra. So bringing the forearms underneath you. Looking, we're strengthening through the legs, so the knees are off the ground, pressing the tops of the feet. And we're open, we're rising up to see what is available in this day. Shoulders down, stick out the tongue, eye gaze up. Lion's breath. Thoughts and energy rise up to touch the sky, rise up to greet this day. Knees touch down. Take your time, don't rush it. Get set up for success. Wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Hover off of the knees. Flowing vinyasa. Take your time to pour back. Stretching out into down dog. Really deepening hearing the sound of the breath. You can't help but hear the sound of the breath, especially in this pose. In all poses, but in certain ones where we get amplified. We're going to, if possible, go into our three-legged dog with the left leg extending up and bending the left knee. Your hips are opening, but watch that left shoulder going too far to the side. Keep drawing it down, arm toward the floor, rotating the ankle. Increasing our core strength in our Surya Namaskar variation by stepping the hands forward a little bit. Left knee to left elbow. Hover. Step it back. Kick it up. It's 2 legs down, maybe add a plank push-up, whatever your body feels to. Opposite, left knee, right elbow, and kick it back, and up. Bend the knee, look at the space between the hands. Giant step, take your time forward. And once we get that ankle knee lined up, belly heart lifts. Let's take a moment on top of the right knee. And go out there. And let those hips ease side to side. Okay. Thanking our body for what it can do. Our thoughts, so we can. And our feelings, we could feel into those feelings, we could breathe into them, we could get real, and then we could also expand both our thoughts and feelings, open up. We are changing and changeable. And we're tuning in to soul nature, changeless, already whole, already free. Okay, so either on the knee, so if I'm going to bring this block over to the side because what's happening here is the right abdomen toward the left and twisting and easing those hips down, but strong through the legs. Even if the knee is down, we're still strong through the legs. Twisting lunge. Getting into the breath. Sensation. When you're complete, gaze down and take that half split. Peel the left toes back. Right hip gently forward, left hip back, opposite hand to toes. Down to the wisdom of the heart.
the way you tune into soul identification. Already whole, already free, already aware. Just keep moving back to the spacious awareness, soul identification, whatever you call that. And then continue this 3 Namaskar cycle. I'm going to walk over. Again, we're going to come off of that knee, step it back into plank. One way to play with plank longer is to step that right foot to the outside corner of the mat and then back. And the left foot to the outside corner and back. And then bring one forearm down, then the other. Breathe. Strengthening the core, strengthening the entire body. I feel some shaking going on. And then the knees touch. And we unfurl the toes and we first get a mini cobra here in our Sphinx. It's Sphinx actually. And then we completely rest at the spiritual eye, stacking the hands. You can bring the large toes and touch the heels open. Letting yourself deeply rest. Going between the eyebrows. Knowing that there's light there, your cells are permeated with light. And rising up, feet hip width apart, off the knees. First, let's do a locust, bare palms down. And we're going to lift the feet off the ground, upper body, recharging the spine. All back bends do that. And then ease. Arms out in cactus, legs lift. Inhale, pulse it, recharge. And then ease. Then we bring our hands underneath the shoulders. Our spine's ready for the full cobra or partial cobra, Bhujangasana. Open to this experience of this day. Open to the heart. Lion's breath. 3 times. Excellent. And then from here, we have the knees touch down. We step one hand back at a time underneath the shoulders. We hover when you're ready. And we lift off the knees. And we pour back for one full cycle of Sri Namaskar, Sun Salute. So important to tune into the light, the solar energy. Got you here, does so many things. Breath of fire, exhale through the nostrils, draw the navel to the spine. 10 times, press into the base of the fingers. Slow it down. Cleanse out. Step one foot forward, then the other. Step the hands. If you want to rest at the elbows or underneath the soles of the feet, you decide. Forward fold. So wonderful to feel the blood flow to the brain, literally cleansing the mind. Physically cleansing. The physical has its limitations and its abilities. As we're tuning into its abilities, it's releasing, bending the knees, sweeping the arms back, taking your time in chair, lifting up, pulsing, and then stretching. Lifting off the heels, Feel the space all around you. Sometimes I like to use my hands to yield into the earth with from the belly down, from the chakra down. Maybe swirl it a bit. Okay, coming into your mountain, I'm going to grab a sip of lemon water here. Okay. So we can come back to our mountain, or we haven't left it. Take a moment. Hold your deep breath, belly expands, heart opens. Open to light at the spiritual eye. Just know it's there. Just like the light, the sun, we may not see it, covered by clouds. The same thing is happening on our spiritual eye. There's light there. In fact, we're invoking the dawning of higher consciousness in all beings, and that light opening up in ourselves and within all beings. And the affirmation is, I am submerged in that light. Divine light is within me and all around me. I am permeated with that light. And we'll go into a balanced tree and then take it into another pose from there. So if you want to tap in to a wall or a chair, that's your friend. Vikasana. Because I'm going to move from this pose, we're all going to move, make sure you can have space on your mat. So left foot is going to root down, right knee is going to lift up. So we know this is already a balanced pose. This could be your balanced pose. If you want to bring that knee out to the side on the inner thigh or the lower calf, see what happens there. Possibly bring in the hands like the branches of the tree. Rooting down and rising up. Both are necessary. Our roots from the belly to the feet, to the earth, and the rising up to the lunar energy. Okay, if you sway, you're affirming that peace, that calmness, even within that even-mindedness. And we bring our hands to the heart. We're not staying here terribly long, okay? I think, and then bringing the knee forward, bending both knees, sweeping that right foot back. So I'd like to do a revolve triangle. Okay, so we're going to face the front of the mat, have your block by your side. Left hip back, right hip forward, tailbone joined down. Take our time here to reach the right arm up and then going it forward. The legs are strong. You have a slight bend of the knee, that's fine. I'm going to bring the block by the instep and is it flat or up? And then take your time here, just like we did earlier with our lunge twist. Bring that right corner of the abdomen toward the left as we twist, 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 and really refreshing our internal organs. And then maybe lifting this left arm up, head to tail connected. Maybe adding thumb, index finger together, mudra. Energy and joy fill my body cells. Energy and joy fill my body cells. And then slowly coming down, resting again, like we did in half split, but here we are in the classic pyramid. Again, bowing to the wisdom of the heart, the wisdom of the soul. Oh, letting the soul lead the way. Not just mine. And then soften this. In fact, we're gonna bend, not just soften, we're gonna bend the left knee. Spin the right foot out to the side. We're already down here, so we might as well go into humble warrior, right? We start from upright, but we're here. Deepen into your lunge. Squeeze and soak. Tension out of the shoulders. And then we rise up. It's a lot. Rise up. And breathe. Pulsing and breathing. Excellent. Turning the toes forward. And we're going to, before we do the whole other side, let's go ahead and come into our forward fold with the legs extended. Wrists eventually come underneath our shoulders. And then walk the hands to the outside or anywhere you can by the ankles, bend the elbows, navel to the spine, engage the core as you fold into your forward fold. Every forward fold is an opportunity to let go of unnecessary mental burdens, calming the mind, but active through other parts of the body. So we're still engaged. Our mind isn't overthinking. And then we bring our wrist, we just reverse it. We heel toe it in so the toes are turning out in a bit of a squat. We come up to goddess pose. And we'll add that twist again. Another twist. Looking over our right shoulder. Core engaged. I hope you feel that as you twist. And look over your left shoulder. Right elbow straightens. Navel to the spine. Okay, and back to center. Pulse it up. Engage up. Toes turn in. Come back to mountain. Any way you like. I'm going to shake it out a little bit. So I'm going to lift the heels and shake the shoulders and move the fingers and the thumbs again. The flow is happening in all the poses, and I'm shaking as well. All right, Rikasana pose to the other side. So we started, and we just kind of review, make sure we're not on the same side again. So we're going to ground through the right foot and lift the left knee up. So just somebody give me a thumbs up that I'm doing the right side. Okay. I had a moment. I was going to turn around. Thank you. All right. Now we look and we open up if we choose to our foot on the thigh or the calf. Yeah, there we go. Once we're in it, we can feel it more. One side will be different than the other. And see if you want to bring the hands like the branches of the tree coming up or not. Sometimes you want to stay to a wall or a chair. That drishti focus. If you're wobbling, that's okay. We're affirming the deeper calmness amongst the fluctuations of life, amongst that changing thoughts and feelings. Where's that more calm center? The soul identification. And then we take it into the flow by softening both knees and then giant stepping back. Stepping back. I'm going to draw our right hip back, left hip forward, and have the block ready to go.
And the left arm comes up for our revolve twisting triangle. So take your time to elongate the spine. And then with the right hand, symbolic, this is what's happening, viscerally this is happening. Left abdomen to the right, twisting. Definitely on the right side because I'm seeing you're opening up, stacking the shoulders, adding mudra. Opening to energy and joy. Energy and joy fill my body cells. Joy kosha is alive within me. Sometimes we gotta dust it off to feel it, but it's there. Sometimes it takes a little more than that. But we're opening to it, and then we slowly come down and rest in our pyramid pose. Keep drawing the right hip back, left hip forward. Opening to the wisdom of the soul, the wisdom of the heart. Whatever speaks to you the most. You need to rest in your soul nature. That's you resting deeply. And then we're bending the knee and we're going to step it back this time, not the side fold, not the side stretch. We're opening up to regular down dog. Because what I'd like to do is move into a pigeon series here, Uttapada Raja Kapatanasana. If possible, left leg lifts up. And then we sweep that knee to the chest and the knee between the hands and reach back through the right leg. Again, the shimmy shake. If you find you're wanting a blanket or a bolster underneath that left sit bone, go ahead. If it's off the ground and you want to stabilize. So shimmy shake the heart open. And inhale, expanding in the back bend. And then we bend the elbows. And we rest again, releasing past and future. The mind does that. It loops, of course, all the time, but when we rest in the eternal now, resting and the spiritual eye again. You know how symbolic these poses are for the deepening, the returning to our true nature. Through the Hatha yoga practice, the physical, the breath practice, the energy practice. But those are the earlier stages in Raja Yoga. The later stages are about the meditation, about union with the soul nature. But even if we just get one breath cycle to tune in, that shows the mind that it's not the primary doer. Something much deeper going on. And resting that. Soften the shoulders. Submerge in the internal light. We're going to rise up. And inhale. And shimmy shake. And we're going to turn the back toes under. Add the core strength to transition. As we walk it out. Lots of down dogs today. You guessed it, the opposite leg lifts up, the right leg lifts up. And then we bring the right knee toward the chest. And we sweep it through any way we can get there. Notice the difference on each side. I like to lift off of the knee so I can come on top of the knee and then let the toes unfurl. And shaking side to side. Again, enjoying the not only the full pose, but the transitions, the setup for the pose. And then melting down. Backing, try to stack the opposite hand if you can remember. And just go to your eyes, soften the shoulder, releasing. Look for one breath cycle, thoughts of past and future. Resting in the eternal now, submerging into the light. I'm submerged in that light. The light is shining in all cells of my body. And resting in the light. This is a good pose to stay longer in your home practice or at the beach, reading a book. We're gonna rise up now. Shake. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna come onto that right sit bone and sweep the left leg around. And a little differently, first we're going to do our twist, and then we're going to go figure four upright, not on our back. Okay, so the left foot is on the outside of the right thigh, or maybe if that's too much, by the right shin. Again and again, that twisting action so deep from the core. Maybe we hug our knee. Maybe we bring our elbow on the outside. Lots of twists today. You can stay here, or you can ease a little bit and twist out again. So healthy for the internal organs and the mind. And again, we help ourselves in the hatha yoga to get more of an experience, perhaps, of what it feels like to drop in deeper. And now, as we come out, this left knee is going to, both knees are going to stay bent. If you can do this, we'll see if we can. Our fingertips are coming back and our right foot is planting down, and we're opening like that figure four. Okay, so you're opening that left knee away from you. Okay, and the more you bring your chest towards your shin, the more you're going to feel that. And keep flexed through the left foot. Now, I typically teach it like this on the ground. If that speaks to you, go ahead. I'm just giving you another option. There's so many ways to play. So many ways to do a pose. Okay, keeps it interesting. And then we're going to go into a V. Don't think about this too much. If you're upright, if you're on the ground, you've got to come up, of course. So just think of V and then switching. The right knee on top, the left knee on the bottom. Got it? Okay, and the foot could be by the shin or the thigh. Again, left abdomen, the twist toward the right. We hug in. Maybe the elbow on the outside, maybe not, and on the heart. And the more that arm comes by your spine, the deeper that back extension in our twist. I'm just pulsing a little bit more subtle on this side of the extension and the release. Extension. And if it's time for you to fully release, come back, draw in, and now we know where to go with our figure four, upright, if it speaks to you, or feel free to come on the back. And we're flexing through, we're drawing the right knee away. The closer your arms and the upper body come to that chin, the more you'll feel that hip opener. We do a lot of twists and hip opener, core strengthening. Breathing, sensing, feeling, turning to what's here, what's whole, what's free. And now we can do that V. Before we come down all the way onto the ground, we want to do it, be some core strengthening again. So we open to V, we plug in for a moment our feet enough to lift up into boat series. So classic boat in yoga, like this. If you can, reach your arms out and then add this exhale, tapping the right foot, knee to knee, then the left foot down, switching and pulsing. It's called regular boat. If we want to go to low boat, okay, be careful of the back, tuck the tailbone under, come down onto your low back, slowly, slowly, slowly. Scapula, tips of the shoulders touching. Hands at the elbows. Exhale, opposite. Left elbow, right knee, and then switch. Low back's plugged in. Classic core strengthener. Twisting gently. We'll do a couple more rounds if possible. Anytime you need to, of course, come down to the ground, to the floor. And then yes, all the way. This is the first time we haven't rested on our back in this class so far. Rocking side to side. Ease. And of course, happy baby, moving from the right corner of the abdomen over to the left. If you want to extend one leg at a time, you can, or keep the knees bent. Playful. Play is important. And inner borders of the feet together, knees apart, then they come together. Another hip opening. And reverse it. All right, can't help but want to do the bridge here. So let's plug in the feet. Try not to have the knees go wider than the hips, large toes in. Flatten the back at first to get situated. And then those hips lift up. Rock one shoulder, then the other, keep magnetizing the inner thighs together, maybe interlock. So we can use our thoughts when they take us way out there to come back. You can bridge back to your true nature, but first that awareness that we're going way out into worry and anxiety. And control what you can with that, bring it back through the breath. And then maybe reach the arms up. And as the spine settles, the arms reach behind you, melting each vertebra down, sweeping the arms out to the side, finishing with our knee down twist. So drawing that right knee in, left leg extends. If your low back's okay, if not, keep that knee bent. And circle the knee around. Plant that right foot down, swivel the hips to the right, and then left hand to the right knee again. Again, these twists in all different ways. You can keep the knee bent, or you can extend that leg. The toes of the left foot draw in. The heart expands open, wide as possible.
You can stay here or you can brush stroke the right arm up and over and affirming. Divine life is within me and all around me. That's affirming your soul nature. Divine life is within me and all around me. Open. So you can say the affirmation out loud. And as you ease out, swivel. Then it can get softer and softer, so it just vibrates through your subconscious into your superconscious. Take your time, extend the right leg, shoulders plug in, simultaneously stretch. Once that right heel touches, stretch through the right side, solar energy, and open and breathe. Full yogic breath. Inner borders of the feet come together. Left knee bends. Opening the hip even more, circling. Now just plant the left foot, swivel. Opposite hand, right hand, the left knee pulls back and forth. And then, if you want, extend either way, the right toes, draw up, press through the right elbow, open the heart, expand fully, and bring that left arm up and around, the head goes along. And we're affirming maybe more quietly. Divine life is within me and all around me. Divine life is within me and all around me. We're affirming the highest truth. And ready, you soften your left knee. And come out by adjusting and resetting onto your spine. Holding that left knee in. Extending the left leg to the sky. Reaching the arms up, shoulders plug in, palms face one another, simultaneously stretch. Arms above the head. Once that left heel touches, stretch through the lunar side. Solar, let's speak of the solar now with the lunar, Hatha yoga. And then just open and breathe in the central channel. Belly, heart, crown. And then on the exhale, crown, heart, belly, feet. Tuning in more and more to your body, what it would like for Shavasana, what it would like the classic pose. My body's telling me I'm going to guide us through it, but I would go to the butterfly personally. That's what my body's telling me. Do listen to yours, legs up the wall. When I do one more pose, shoulders down, whatever works for you. As we move into deep restoration. And we started about 5 minutes late, so I hope it's okay to end it with 2 minutes after our regular time. That's up here. Get into your cocoon. Oh. Whatever's going to make you the most comfortable and restored position. As you're settling in, and set up the voice memo recording. And we're going to start
When you're ready, from the bottom up. So just noticing your feet, the soles of the feet. If you're in a position to rotate the ankles, sometimes that feels nice. Open through the toes. Notice the heels, the top of the feet, left and right, and the ankles. Notice the surface you're lying on. Let it deeply support you so that your back body gets heavy. And your front body perhaps lighter. See your calf muscles, hollows at the back of the knees, the kneecaps themselves. Notice the front of the thighs, the back of the thighs, the cheeks, left and right, the sit bones, root chakra. Deeply breathing into the belly. And just allowing that expansion, opening up further on the inhale. And then release the letting go on the exhale. Notice the space between the ribs. Maybe even a pause at the end of the exhale. Into the heart chakra deeply. Floor, the ceiling, the sidewalls of the chest. And allowing the space of ventilation. All those feelings rising and falling, shifting and changing. Everything's welcome. Notice when we're aware of the feelings versus all in it. Be aware of changing feelings with compassion. Softening the shoulders, feeling some ease perhaps of the shoulders away from the ears, and the sensation, the energy streaming down both arms, left and right. Natural bend of the elbows, natural bend of the wrists. Sensation in the palms of the hands, touches of the fingers. And then that oceanic sound again and again in the throat chakra, most audible. Being aware of the inside of the mouth, a sense of taste. Being aware of the teeth, the gums, of the tongue, inside of the cheeks. Inviting the jaw to relax and soften. The eyes to deeply relax and the eyelids. And being very curious on your next inhale, feeling that coolness through the left and right nostrils, and perhaps coolness of the spiritual eye. The point between the eyebrows and the warm cooked air coming out of the nostrils. So focusing here, the breath coming through the nostrils or opening, just notice sensation or pulsation of the spiritual eye. It may or may not be your perception of light there. Just know that light is there. And I'll affirm I am submerged in eternal light. It permeates every particle of my being. I am living in the light. Divine Spirit fills me within and without. I am submerged in eternal light. It permeates every particle of my being. I am living in that light. The Divine Spirit fills me within and without. Now, as if you were saying this to yourself quietly, I am submerged in eternal light. It permeates every particle of my being. I am living in that light. The Divine Spirit fills me within and without. Resting in that light. Open to the crown. Open to the celestial elements, the sun, the moon, stars, this autumn equinox time of year. And then you decide in the comfort of your home if you'd like to stay longer in Shavasana, changeless soul identification, or as we return to movement, staying connected to that changeless, already whole, already free soul nature that you are. And if you are moving gently, sitting comfortably, continue to send this healing energy to others through the sound of Om. So visualizing people, the planet perhaps, you'd like to send healing energy to. If you want to rub your hands together, you can, or place them over your heart, whatever speaks to you. And we'll do the 3-syllable, the ah, ood, and sound 3 times from the heart. Inhale. Bringing the hands into namaste, acknowledging that divine awareness within you and recognizing that in everyone and everything. Namaste. Thank you all for being here and sharing the practice together. I'm going to end the recording.